You know, I was once a part of the RDC 8 when I was mayor of Ormoc City. And on a yearly basis, all the problems na kinakailangan natin na ponduhan kung mayroong problema, ito ay laging tinitake up sa RDC. So yung mga regional offices, kung anong kailangan nila, inire-report po yun. I just feel bad that parang pinagbibintangan natin dito ngayon na meron neglect on DPWH. Because in the last RDC, Mr. Speaker, it was brought up that every year, DPWH will report kung ano yung kailangan ayusin sa atin. And also, andun lagi ang San Juanico Bridge. It is in the RDC report, if we will take a look at it. Mr. Speaker. So in this investigation that you want to happen, I don't know kung matutuloy pa to this coming week or pagpasok na natin ng 20th Congress, they will tell you na every year, never sila nagka-remiss sa pag-report, sa pagsabi na ang San Juanico Bridge, kinakailangan ng i-retrofit, kailangan ng repair, kailangan ng annual maintenance. Siguro, maganda rin, Mr. Speaker, tignan natin sarili natin dito sa Kongreso. Bakit hindi natin napondohan yung nire-request nila? Why I'm speaking here today is because yung problema ng San Juanico, that is 110 kilometers away from Ormoc City, nararamdaman din namin yan. Ngayon lang kami nagkakaroon ng pila ng truck sa loob ng Ormoc City. And when they stay in Ormoc City, we don't have ready restrooms for them. Saan sila nagdudumi? Sa tabi-tabi. It is also affecting the health and cleanliness of our city in Ormoc. So in this coming investigation, Congressman Asidre, please take note that the RDC report, every year, merong nire-report na merong pangangailangan ang DPWH with regards to maintenance, repair, and annual checkup of the San Juanico Bridge.
Honorable Gomez, is that a manifestation or a...
It is a manifestation, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Asedre.
Mr. Speaker, I just would like to qualify the position of this representation. We have no arguments, and we agree that for the longest time we have been asking funding, even not only for the repair of the San Juanico Bridge, but including the construction of a second San Juanico Bridge, considering that we have already seen the wear and tear and the life of the structure itself. However, the position of this representation with regards to the privilege speech is about having to impose the restriction, the load restriction on the San Juanico Bridge without prior preparation and without prior notice to the concerned stakeholders. For the record, as I mentioned in my privilege speech, we are not against the rehabilitation. In fact, we welcome it. In fact, for the longest time, we've been asking for it. But the problem with the current situation is that the announcement was made on the same day the restriction took effect. And in that case, as the honorable colleague from Ormoc has mentioned, Congressman Gomez has mentioned, not everyone is ready to address the consequences with the changes in terms of alternative maritime routes, in terms of the adjustment in the traffic, and even, as mentioned earlier, even the sanitation and the other services needed for the truckers. I think it's important to qualify that our concern stems from this. Because as mentioned earlier by the Honorable Green, this is a matter that did not happen overnight. This is something that could have been avoided. Preparations could have been made earlier. The moment DPWH felt that they needed to take in a consultant to make an structural integrity assessment of the bridge, should have started the need to draw contingency plans. It should have already beckoned DPWH to consider the worst scenario so that in case a situation would have been recommended that would warrant the restrictions on the bridge, then there would be a minimal disruption to the movements of goods and peoples as well as services from the islands of Leyte to Samar. We are one with the Honorable Gomez in saying that this has been a long concern of the region, having been part also of the Advisory Council of the Regional Development Council of the region. We've worked also closely in recommending funding for the second San Juanico Bridge. There is no question about that. Our concern for this matter is that this situation where we find ourselves in, wherein there was little or there was not inadequate preparation given prior to the closure or the imposition of load restrictions on the San Juanico Bridge, could have been done better. And it's important that we put this in mind because it could happen somewhere else under similar, even worse circumstances. So it's important that before such decisions of such magnitude are taken, there could have been proper coordination with the different stakeholders.
Mr. Speaker, as part of last part of my manifestation, I would like to add, Mr. Speaker, kung pwede, kung matutuloy ang investigation natin, we will have to ask the committee secretary to please prepare all the requests of DPWH with regards to San Juanico at the start of 19th Congress. Because as reported, every year, every budget year, nire-request nila yon. Baka kung sakaling hindi na ibigay yun, baka tayo yung nag-remiss. Baka nakalimutan lang natin. Baka hindi natin nakita na talagang kailangan palang ponduhan ang pagpapaayos ng San Juanico Bridge, Mr. Speaker. So, in part of his resolution, we ask that all records of requests coming from DPWH, ilabas po natin. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you, Honorable
Congressman
Gomez.
Eside.
Mr. Chair. I was a mayor when the drug war was implemented, Mr. Chair. And let me tell you, nasa lahat na implementations nila against the fight against drugs, hindi ka pwedeng lumapit sa drug pusher o sa drug lord na sabihin mo, pwede ho ba tumigil na ho kayo? Kasi lahat ito, all of these people, all of these personalities, they have firearms. Hindi mo pwede sabihin sa, tumigil ka na. Eh, babalili ka agad ng mga yan. So during the implementation, na nanguhuli sila at hinaharang nila to, nagkakaputukan talaga, and that is really true. Sad na may namamatay. Sad pati yung polis na sasama. Pero inuutusan yung polis eh. Trabaho nila, Mr. Chair, pag sinabi na ng higher up sila, gawin nyo ito. They will do what they're told. And that's the reason na marami namatay. Both from the civilian, both from the police, pati na rin yung mga drug personalities. Now, Mr. Chair, in our conversations, there are two more items that I'd like to bring up, Mr. Chair. First, when Mr. Kerwin Espinosa said na lahat ng sinabi niya sa Senate ay hindi totoo, that is an institution that we also have to protect. What if he will go into another investigation and he will say that everything he said here is not real, is not
Correct.
So, ano yung pinangahawakan natin lahat in both institutions of the Senate and the House? And second, it was Colonel Marcos who was head of the CIDG in Leyte at that time during the killing of the father of Kerwin Espinosa. And ang haba nung sinabi ni Kerwin, but we haven't heard yung side, Mr. Chair, ni Colonel Marcos kung ano yung masasabi ni Colonel Marcos regarding sa mga nangyari sa event ng pagkamatay ng father ni Kerwin Espinosa. So, Mr. Chair, will it be possible to hear aside from Colonel Marcos against sa sinabi ni Kerwin so that we can hear both sides.
Yes, kanina, earlier, when Congressman Ron
Sige, pagtanggol mo, Barbers.
other members were asking questions
Pagtanggol mo yung kriminal.
Colonel Marcos, sinasagot naman ni Colonel Marcos yung patungkol doon sa kwento sa totoong nangyari doon sa
Totoong
loob
nangyari.
ng kulungan sa Leyte. And somehow he has already given some information to the committee as to kung ano naman yung side o yung version ng story on the side of Colonel Marcos. Earlier, may mga
Walang kwenta
comments
ito.
na
Ano natin? Forward.
Your Honor, but
Mr. Chair,
yes.
with regard also, if we can take up protecting our institution and the Senate.
I
as,
absolutely agree
yes.
with you, Congressman Gomez. In fact, paalala lang sa ating mga resource persons na naimbita
Bulatis.
for the information na rin ng ating publiko.
I can say that in my city, when I was mayor, nag-improve yung nag-improve yung situation namin during the drug war because yung police namin nagtrabaho talaga sila. As a matter of fact, during the course na marami silang hinuli, in less than 2 months, Mr. Chair, there are over 900 people who surrendered in front of my city hall when I was mayor. Why? Because natatakot po sila na mamatay and they surrendered. And because of that, the drug problem in Ormoc City bumaba talaga. So, it is not accurate that
Hindi yan
the
matatanggap ni
Director General
Barbers
said na hindi
dahil
nag-improve
naka-mindset siya.
ang situation. At least in my part, as mayor, and I can only speak for myself, nag-improve yung aming lugar.
Yes. May we now ask PIDEA to categorically state, is this the opinion of the Director General only, or this is based on reports or facts that were gathered by the
Director
PIDEA?
General, hindi
When you
naniniwala
said
sa...
that it did not improve.
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, the question that was
Director
asked was
General
that
na yun.
with the
Yan,
passing
Director
away
General
of,
na kasabwat din.
Mayor Espinosa, did it have any effect
Laso.
in Albuera? That's why my answer was that as far as Albuera is concerned, we neither have any indication whether it diminished or it
Wala ka.
the drug,
Hindi ka
the
totoong
drug
Director General
campaign or
para
the
sa
drug
PIDEA.
trafficking situation flourished. That was my answer. Your Honor.
Lalo pang lumala lang
Does
problema
that satisfy
ngayon.
Congressman?